There's a popular discussion about how video games are too violent.
How violent is too violent when it comes to video games?
With games like Call of Duty. Nowadays, the game is basically used to be a military version of Fortnite. But back then, all people could talk about is how violent it is to shoot and stab other players online. And also their extreme vulgar language.
Let's go. Shut your bitch.
Or even games like Doom, which has always been known for its extremely gory gameplay that kind of just ramped up as gaming as a whole improved. As blood and guts fill your screen, it's almost comedic how much blood there is. However, when it comes to The Last of Us, the gore is kept somewhat realistic, as we're dealing with mainly human enemies and infected humans. But jumping from The Last of Us Part 1 to The Last of Us Part 2, it seems like they upped the gore by a lot. And for PETA's sake, you're able to kill more dogs in this game than you're able to pet them. So I wanted to answer the question, why is The Last of Us Part 2 so brutal? Got my Last of Us blanket here, my Last of Us shirt. Maybe I'm too much of a Last of Us Part 2 fan, but from a story perspective, it's understandable why the sequel to The Last of Us would just be a much more violent game. With Part 1 being a story about accepting love when you've lost so much, and the core message of
no matter what, you keep finding something to fight for.
Whereas the sequel starts with a false sense of security and normality until it is ripped away right from under your nose. And so, The Last of Us Part 2 is structured more of a revenge story. So we're doing a lot less of
I'm whistling.
Oh, good. Something else you can drive me crazy with.
and more shooting, stabbing, shooting legs, dying, crying, more shooting, slavery, killing dogs, and telling pregnant girlfriends that they're a burden.
You're a burden now, aren't you?
So, the darker story is able to link with the more darker and grim gameplay. I've talked about the gameplay of the second game numerous times on this channel, and you're welcome to go watch those too. But what I didn't touch on is how this game is very gory. Gunshots cause large amounts of blood mist to appear. Shooting specific body parts sends it flying. And heads pop like a balloon full of blood and brain matter. Have you ever noticed that when you blow an enemy away, some pieces of their remains are left behind to fall from the ceilings or walls, really onto any surface that's around when the killing happens? There's just a lot of detail that is put into the damage that you and your enemies take. It's really just crazy. You can throw glass bottles into someone's face, and when you look closely, you can even see glass shards littering their face. I'll be diving into everything that makes this game so disgustingly bloody. And as they say, the devil is within the details. So let's first go over what goes into making a game that's this graphically demanding. And before we get to that, you have to subscribe. Please, 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 please. If I'm able to reach 10,000 subscribers before the end of the year, I will be forced to get a tattoo that you guys pick out. I'm thinking it'll be Last of Us related, but the only way to find out is if you subscribe. It's honestly a big help, and it's even a bigger help if you became a member today. You even unlock exclusive perks like joining these guys at the end of each video, early access to new videos, plus full access to scripts from previous and future video essays. And hey, you get to say that you personally supported the channel. But anyways, in the 2-hour documentary about making The Last of Us Part 2, they talk about how important it was that the violence would be as realistic as possible. If you've seen the documentary, they are literally simulating the blood, guts, and brains in real life, all to achieve realism. The lengths that these artists go through is so wild. They are analyzing the way the blood drips on walls, floors. One developer even chewed on a bloody rag to simulate it infected. You can really see the efforts each developer put into this game. From how the blood drips on surfaces, to the blood spatter from bullet wounds. They even mix the fake blood with mud to see how how it mixes together. These people are able to put so much work into just making these kills and deaths as realistic as possible. Like when you get a stealth kill on an enemy using a knife, they'll gargle on their own blood while falling to the floor. And when you throw a Molotov at someone, they'll scream as you just killed their entire family in front of them. I mean, just look at what happens after I shoot this guy's leg off. Oh, come on. It can't be that bad. Joel was able to take it like a champ, but there is just a lot of attention to detail. So how does it reflect in the gameplay? As you may know, Ellie is the main character of The Last of Us Part 2. No, I'm not kidding, no. So you are spending most of your time playing as her, which she wields a knife, so she's mainly stabbing people, slashing people, and just cutting people's necks open. Her slashes are violent. Each time you attack, more and more blood is drawn from whoever you're fighting. Despite how vicious these attacks are, they still feel very satisfying, as every slash has a rewarding cutting sound effect. Every enemy is just a bag of blood ready to be popped. When you shoot someone, blood will pour out of their wound. If you blow someone's head open, their brains will splatter onto nearby surfaces. If you shoot a human's leg, they'll often kneel to the floor with an injured leg. But if you shoot an infected leg, they'll lose the entire leg and fall straight onto their face. The game can get especially gruesome when it comes to their takedowns, as blood just spews from their neck, chest. I mean, there's just a lot of different animations that are all visually interesting in their own various ways, with each character taking out enemies in their own style, as Abby's animations are just as brutal as Ellie's. She'll bash skulls into nearby surfaces, snap necks, curb stomp foes. She really gets a lot done using her hands. Like, I definitely think this is my favorite strike animation. Something that adds to the overall effect is that at times there will be blood that splatters onto the camera. It might not be something that you notice immediately, but it's still a detail that gets you immersed into the gameplay. But with all this effort having blood and guts flying everywhere, it's all for the immersion of the player. Take this scene for example. Abby and Lev are trying to escape from a burning building and are forced to take on a brute in a close-up one-on-one. This guy is tough. He's able to take many slashes and detailed animations that all carve into the brute's skin. And when he hits you with this giant-ass hammer, it hurts like a bitch. And it's able to reflect that visually onto the screen. After he takes far more hits than he should have been able to, we finally get to strike him down. This is where the game gets really freaking gross. And as the fight comes to a close, Abby literally grabs his cut open mouth by his jaw and stabs him with the arrow he's just been shot with. Yeah, this is just freaking gross. Have you ever noticed that the deaths are just so freaking violent? Like, the way that bloaters absolutely rip you apart, snap your neck like you're a twig. These bloaters really just smack you around the way they want to. They're not even the worst of it. Clickers will sink their teeth into you and rip you apart. Shamblers will fart on you with this toxic gas that burns your skin. Even human enemies will snap your neck, shoot you down, burn you with Molotovs, and dogs will chew you into pieces. Some of these deaths have really brutal animations, so it's surprising when some of these moments have lower quality animation. Have you ever even tried failing a couple of QuickTime events? Here's just a few animations for when you fail that you may have not seen before. Pretty gruesome, right? I touched on it earlier, but you know what makes the violent moments of this game so brutal beyond just the visuals? It's the sound design. Every punch sounds weighty with some real oomph behind each strike. Every stab is followed by the sound of a sleek cut. Even when enemies are stabbed in the neck, they'll make a gargle sound as they choke on their own blood. There's just a lot of cases where characters will just scream out in pain, which I guess is supposed to help you feel immersed so much into the gameplay that you start to feel pity for the people that you're killing. You probably even realized early on into the gameplay that when you kill a person within a squad of their friends, their team will yell out the name of the fallen soldier, and they do this a lot.
Joshua, Emily,
Arthur!
Andrew, Ellen, Joshua, Brian,
Eli!
Diana, Hannah,
Grace!
Ian, Beth,
Eva!
Theo, Malcolm,
Angel!
Troy, Matthew, Ethan.
This is to help emphasize that these soldiers aren't just faceless individuals, but people with their own lives, relationships, and stories, to make the player feel like they just robbed someone of their life. So when you stab a Seraphite and their teammates scream out, you're supposed to feel empathy. That weird queasy feeling you get after you kill a person in the more gruesome way than you were expecting. Yeah, that's the game trying to tell you that what you just did was probably bad. When you grab an enemy, they'll squirm around in your arms as you point a gun to their head while they plead for their lives. And eventually, you'll shoot them, stab them, beat them with the gun, stab a little knife into their throat. No matter what, your choices will cause the fallen soldier to make a realistic death sound effect. It's just disturbing. With all this bloodshed, was it worth it? Not only am I asking if all the crunch hours that a passionate team of developers had to endure to meet deadlines, but was all of the stabbing, punching, necks snapped, heads popped open, dogs murdered, was it all worth it at conveying the story it's trying to tell? As the story follows Ellie's journey to get revenge, we as the player chooses how many enemies we want to take out. And for me personally, I'll try to take out everyone in the area even if I die trying. Abby spends her time in the story defending herself within enemy territory, protecting herself alongside Lev or Yara. And even her side of the story is gruesome as hell. It really feels like Ellie's journey is more of a trial of how far she's willing to go for revenge for the sake of her mental health, while Abby's story is forcing her to protect her loved ones with the only way she knows how to. This might just be my interpretation of the story, but I think both these characters enjoy what they do at times. From Abby bulking up her muscles with training constantly and becoming what Mel states as a
Isaac's top scar killer.
I think Abby enjoys this as much as Ellie enjoys tracking down and finding the locations of where her enemies may be, and beating her frustrations into really anyone that tries to cross her path. So the thing that ties these characters together is also what the player's immersion is connected to. The fact that we love fictional killing. It's more like we love the act of mowing down crowds of foes with our bombs, silenced pistols, hands, whatever we can use to fend off the opposing foes, and hearing that blood-curdling scream at the end. Or even just a satisfying pop when we're going through long segments without much fighting and we're just itching to get back to the satisfyingly bloody combat. These characters are also waiting for the next moment they'll have their hands on someone. This experience is a brutal and violent path that can get you entertained in the same vein as a game like Doom, but in a more grounded level where you're not blasting away demons straight from hell, and instead you're choking out humans and infected humans in a semi-realistic combat scenario. All this violence is just for the enjoyment of the player, so that when you're tearing through Seattle, the kills feel like rewards. Like, look at all this blood and guts. Congratulations, don't you like it? Here's even one bullet for your troubles. This whole experience delivers on satisfying gameplay, while still attempting to deliver on the themes and such of the game, with it reflecting on the effects that the cycle of violence has on these characters and the player. It's a constant reminder that you're taking away these non-playable characters' lives away from not only their teammates that scream out their name when you down them, but you're taking them away from friends and family that might be waiting for them when they come back home from the battle. You could very well be robbing someone from their last goodbye. The Last of Us Part 2 isn't just brutal for the looks, because every stabbed, neck snapped, head popped open, and enemy burnt to a crisp is doing exactly what it needs to be doing. It's to make you feel it. Despite the violence being kinda cool visually, it's there to make you feel uncomfortable, guilty, immersed, and somehow still satisfying after killing a lot of people. But just because you want me to feel bad about killing these NPCs doesn't mean I will. I'm still blowing off everyone's head I see, even if I die trying. The gameplay is too fun to make me stop. Hey, just coming in at the end, say thank you for watching the entire video. If you really did enjoy, subscribe, you know, it helps. These videos take longer than they're actually supposed to. That's my fault. But any way you can support, it really goes a long way. An extreme thank you to the current members. Thank you. Extremely. Take care and drink water. YouTube recommends you watch one of these videos next, so you should probably do that while you do that.